Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Wednesday, the 17th of July 2024, the year of 1,000,000 transactions per second or more. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com, the best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a little flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Right, let's see what we've got in store for us today. Check this out. Craig Wright, well, this is an article by Crypto Potato saying Craig Wright finally admits he isn't Satoshi Nakamoto. For 6 months, Wright must keep a statement posted on his X account confirming the court's ruling against him. Dear oh dear, no coercion there. Apparently the application has been filed. Then we're just going to go over this article from the SEC. Again, completely incompetent, stuck between a rock and a hard place between the banks and actually protecting the members of the public. John McAfee's tweet. So we got more news on Donald Trump's stock shorting positions, which we'll go over there, and then we'll go over the charts as usual. So let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1,000,000 strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the terror node, you'll surely see.
Right then. So this article says Craig Wright finally admits he isn't Satoshi Nakamoto. For 6 months, Wright must keep a statement posted on his X account confirming the court's ruling against him. Dr. Craig Wright, the man who claimed for years to be Satoshi Nakamoto, well, not really. It was other people that pinpointed that he was Satoshi Nakamoto. So then he said he was, and then the people who pointed fingers at him said he wasn't. Like, yeah, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Has formally admitted that he is not, in fact, Bitcoin's creator. All right, so that means that none of the trolls can troll him for being Satoshi Nakamoto anymore because he's not. So this is what's on his profile. It says, Dr. Stephen Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto, wrote the computer scientist on a Wednesday tweet. Wright followed with a summary of the England and Wales High Court ruling about his identity earlier this year, during which UK Judge James Miller said the evidence against Wright's claims was overwhelming. Well, again, I mean, he said Dr. Wright. He didn't say Craig, did he? You know, Dr. Wright is Craig's legal fiction. That's the only thing they can deal with. Those who know about that. He also highlighted the court's findings that he'd, quotes here, lied to the court extensively and repeatedly. Yeah, that's right. Even though a Florida jury found that he was the sole and rightful owner of the Satoshi coins. So how does that work? And that London's High Court granted him copyright of the Bitcoin white paper. But this guy seems to think that he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, despite the fact saying that Craig had expended substantial stealing judgment in creating the Bitcoin file format. You know, put two and two together. You don't have to be the sharpest tool in the box to figure this out. Another point, in advance his false claim to be Satoshi through multiple legal actions, Dr. Wright committed a most serious abuse of the process of the courts of the UK, Norway and USA, Wright added. The statement, which reverses Wright's year-long claims to the contrary, follows a Tuesday injunction from Mellor forcing Wright to post the court notice to his website, Slack and X account for at least 6 months. Mellor has also referred Wright court misconduct to the Crown Prosecution Service to consider charging him with perjury following the false testimony. I think that's smoke and mirrors because there is no evidence to suggest that he's committed forgery, perjury or fraud or forgery. And they admitted as such. There is no evidence there's no evidence or even allegations of forgery or fraud. There were questions put to him. So, Judge Mellor's going to have egg on his face, hopefully, at the end of this. And Dr. Wright has been ordered not to commence any legal proceedings based on his false claims by claim or counterclaim or procure any other persons to do so. Wright's notice concludes. We can actually find that, but Ramona here is just, or Ramon Quasida has said that Wright has posted this saying appeal application filed, and he's got a date here saying 5th August 2024. So whether that means it has to be filed before then or on then, or that's when it's gonna be filed, because I suppose they have to prepare it. So I'm guessing that's when they're gonna file it, because it's a date in the future. So that'll be quite exciting. And we'll just see if we can find that exact post on X here. Oh, it's around here somewhere. There we go. Let's have a look. There it is, pinned 4 hours ago. Legal notice, Dr. Craig Stephen Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto. Again, all in capital letters. Minutes should be removed from the document. On the 20th of May 2024, Dr. Craig Stephen Wright was found by the High Court of England and Wales to have been dishonest in his claims to have been the person behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. The court found that Dr. Wright lied to the court extensively and repeatedly in his evidence. And that he had attempted to create a false narrative by forging documents on a grand scale. What a load of crap. What an utter load of crap making him post that. Good grief. Good grief. So yeah, and this was the ruling on May 20th. Although I don't know if if the remedy has actually been posted. Yeah, I suppose it must have been. It'd be good to see that. Because it's the remedy that you can appeal against for incorrect opinion stroke judgment, or whatever you want to refer to it as. So yeah, there we go on that one. So let's get into what the SEC has been up to. So there's an article here by Crypto Slate saying staking and in-kind redemption of crypto ETFs can be reconsidered, says SEC Commissioner. SEC Hester Pierce suggests potential revisions of staking and in-kind redemption features for crypto ETFs. Again, so it's the banks that are screwing everybody, and yet it's the regulators that are paid for by the banks, and yet they're meant to protect the public from the banks and the financial institutions. I mean, what a tricky position to be in. The SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce's recent comments on Coinage Media have reignited discussions about the potential inclusion of staking and in-kind creation / redemption features in crypto ETFs. Pierce emphasised that these elements, which were excluded from the initial ETF offerings, could be revised in the future, or revisited in the future. Quote here, I think certainly something like staking or any other feature of the product that we saw that on Bitcoin ETFs too were features of the product that some people would like to see included but weren't, and those were always open for consideration as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, again, they're giving these tokens that have got a dollar value, and these tokens are made up from nothing, just multiplying the dollar value of them, and then people are cashing out. It's a massive Ponzi scheme because they're worthless. You know, well, it's like fiat currency. They're just like printing it from nothing. But eventually people are going to find out that they do nothing. And it's just scam after scam after scam, which is what we're seeing. And the regulators are meant to prevent this, and they're not. They just go, oh, this is what the people want, so we'll just let them do it. And then, you know, when everybody loses the shirt off the back, they're like, well, you know, you said you wanted it. You know, ridiculous. Bloomberg's Eric Blochunas noted that Pierce's comments suggested these features might be reconsidered, particularly if the presidential administration changes. He included in-kind creations and redemptions, which allow ETF managers to exchange ETF shares for the underlying assets without triggering taxable events. Oh, interesting. Right, so they're actually now going to swap the shares for the actual product itself. Interesting. For Bitcoin or other crypto ETFs, in-kind redemptions could help maintain liquidity and minimize capital gains distributions. However, the SEC has preferred cash redemption models for Bitcoin ETFs, which involve converting the underlying crypto into cash during the redemption process. This comes as the crypto industry anticipates the imminent launch of Ethereum's ETFs, expected as early as July 23. However, the exclusion of staking provisions for these ETFs to meet regulatory requirements could potentially hinder the growth and efficiency of the Ethereum network. The SEC recently filed lawsuits intending to classify staking Ethereum as an unregistered security, which it is. Staking is a fundamental aspect of Ethereum's proof of stake, because it's a load of crap, consensus mechanism contributing to network security and decentralization. That's right, decentralization. By excluding staking from ETFs, a significant portion of Ethereum's supply could be removed from the staking pool, potentially impacting network stability and security. Not that it's used for anything anyway, other than just like Ponzi schemes and NFT pictures of rocks and pieces of crap and all that. This approach could lead to a concentration of staking power, because that's what they want, among a smaller group of participants, contradicting the decentralized ethos of blockchain technology. Furthermore, it could reduce the overall staking ratio on Ethereum's network, potentially affecting its performance and security. The timing of these comments is particularly significant given the upcoming US presidential election in November, with former President Donald Trump emerging as a frontrunner and adopting a pro-crypto stance. The regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies could see substantial shifts. Trump's recent embrace of Bitcoin mining, and NFTs, including accepting crypto donations for his campaign, signals a pivot in Republican policy towards digital assets. This evolving political climate adds another layer of complexity to the ETF discussion. A more crypto-friendly administration could potentially revisit and revise regulations surrounding digital assets ETFs, including the inclusion of staking features. As the launch of Ethereum's ETF likely approaches, the digital asset market faces a critical juncture. The decision made in the coming months regarding ETF structures and features could have far-reaching implications for the future of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the broader crypto ecosystem. The crypto industry and investors will closely watch how these ETFs perform and whether they adequately represent Ethereum's full potential as a staking-based network. Dear oh dear. Dear oh dear. What an absolute load of garbage we're in. My goodness me. Regulators don't know the head from the tail. Anyway, getting into a little bit of Bitcoin history, check this out. So on the 17th of June, we'll start on in 2014, the New York DFS releases proposed bit license. Benjamin M. Lawsky, superintendent of New York's Department of Financial Services, announces a proposed set of regulations for businesses that interact with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The goal of the new regulation, according to Lawsky, are to help protect consumers and root out illegal activity without stifling beneficial innovation. The regulations would require entities that deal in Bitcoin to run background checks, fingerprints, for all employees. What the hell? Get a written approval for business, for new business activities by the state. This is outrageous. And to immediately convert any Bitcoin profit into US dollars. Good. I mean, this is totalitarianism at its finest. Affected entities could be exchanges, mining pools, bulk Bitcoin sellers, and altcoin software creators based in New York State, or that have consumers in New York State. News of these regulations are generally rebuked by the cryptocurrency community. Good, that's outrageous. Also on the 17th of July 2017, J-Mac's famous post about eating his genitalia. Somebody had said, one BTC, $500K within 3 years, and he said, if not, I will eat my dick on national television. Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen, John, but he's no longer with us, RIP, under suspicious circumstances. But also on the 17th of July 2021, we had the first conversation over Bitcoin. Now, whether this is legit or not, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Let's have a listen.
It is 9:32 p.m., July 17th, 2021. I am in a conversation with Joe over the Bitcoin SV network. We are sending bytes back and forth from each other. Joe, do you want to tell me about this a bit?
Sure. So basically, what this is my voice. This is the first conversation to happen over Bitcoin. And my voice is basically every second, 44 kilobytes worth of it is going into a Bitcoin transaction and being propagated through the Bitcoin SV network in a way that every single node in the Bitcoin SV network will receive this specific transaction. And then that transaction will go to Hudayfa's computer, and Hudayfa's computer will unpack it, and then finally it'll play it out through the speakers. So just like IP and voice over IP works, this does the same exact thing, but on top of Bitcoin. This is voice over Bitcoin. And there are tons of bugs, but it works.
Sweet. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
There we go. That was an epic bit of Bitcoin history. Right, let's go on to the next bit. So this was a post here from the handle of Died Suddenly. It said, new, soon-to-be unmasked entities bet that President Trump's DJT stock, that was his social media enterprise, Truth Social, would plummet one day before the assassination attempt. Shorts against the Truth Social stock more than doubled from July 1st to July 12th, meaning people or large organisations were predicting that by Monday the stock would plummet, something that undoubtedly would have occurred had President Trump died in Pennsylvania. This could mean some had foreknowledge of the plot against President Trump's life and tried to profit off the coming calamity. This also happened on 9/11 when bets were placed against the stock of major airline companies, American and United, a day before the attack. An investigation showed that in both cases a single entity and a well-placed insider newsletter tipped off investors to miraculously bet against the top two airlines in the US who took a major hit after the hijackings. I mean, look at this. Look at the state of that. Look at the state of that. So they pumped the price up, purposely ready to short it. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm guessing the reason they got away with this on 9/11 is because because the attacks were actually carried out. People were too focused on who done it, what happened, the aftermath, and all that. Whereas because this attempt on Donald Trump's life seems to have failed, nobody's focused on the aftermath of it because there isn't one. So now they're going to be finding out who's done this because they're going to have to, because it looks like the short positions didn't pay off. So they're going to have to pay. They're going to have to basically stump up to pay the short positions back, which is going to expose who they are and who's done it. This is going to be fascinating to watch. So I've also found this article by Thinbold that says Trump stock shorted heavily day before assassination attempt. So after an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, which sent shockwaves through the US political landscape, Trump media, DJT, the ticker symbol, shares surged more than 60% in the early trading hours on Monday before retracing by 20% to the valuation of $36.89 and the latest close on July 16th. However, a fact bound to raise a few questions is the short positions against Truth Social stock doubled between July 1st and July 12th, going from 7 to 15 million shares in what was a record share shorted for DJT stock since its trading debut. This surge indicates that the individuals or large organisations anticipate a significant drop in the stock's value by July 15th, a scenario that would have likely have materialised had President Trump died in Pennsylvania. Now look at the state of this. Look, so these are the short volumes. We've got 1.1 million, 834,000, 1.4, 1.3, that's million. But then it goes to 16 million. 16 million is what it jumped to. From under a million to 16. From the 12th to the 15th. Like, oh my God. So Trump stock interest history. The potential need to cover the losses from the short positions leading up to the July 12th could have proved an additional boost in the price of DJT stocks. A pattern raises concerns that some individuals may have foreknowledge of a plot against former President Trump's life and sought to profit from the expected turmoil. And now there isn't any turmoil. Short interest in DJT stock. Looking at the current level of DJT stock interest, it has subsided substantially. It fell to 11.27% with 5,219,586 shares being shorted, an average coverage of less than 1 day. Good. Look at that, yeah. 5.2 million. This means that the stock is no longer experiencing high short interest as it did last week. So subtitle here, previous occurrences of short interest before major events. A similar occurrence was observed on September the 11th, 2001, when substantial bets were placed against the stocks of major airlines, American Airlines and United Airlines, the day before the attacks. Subsequent investigations revealed that a single entity and an insider newsletter had tipped off investors, leading them to place fortuitous bets against the top two US airlines, which suffered significant losses following the hijackings. Whoa. I mean, yeah, watch this space. We'll see what happens. That is outrageous. Let's have a look at the quick figures then. So top left of the screen says 45.89. So reported here on CoinDarts at 46. Transactions, block size, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, block size not all that big. We know what's coming though. It's currently 102,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Coolcoin. But look at the profitability. It's still 42.6% more profitable to mine on Coolcoin than Bitcoin. Again, the profitability is being managed. So shitcoiners who have shitcoiners shit for brains with no ideas are being shooed off the chain. But those who are mining it, even though they're mining it at a 42.6% comparative loss, they don't care because they are scooping up copious amounts of Bitcoin, the genuine one. Jeepers. So the others have been hoodwinked by Blockstream. They're not going to be happy. Let's have a look at the politics here because it's all in here. Global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Coolcoin hash rate, other miners 2% on there. B crash, other miners 42.3. Fisher Price cash, who cares? And Bitcoin, we'll have to check on what's on chain. Yeah, look at that. Tau with over 50% still. Calvin will be very happy. Coov 27. QD Link 15.3, and then Gorilla Pool 5.3. Very good. Crypto Quant, look, exchanges are still cashing out. Still cashing out, even though the price of BTC is going up. They know what's happening. Let's have a look at US. Oh, this is Tether market cap. Look at that. So it's gone from 112.9 to 113.3. So that's like 400 million, almost like $500 million just gone in earlier this afternoon. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely outrageous. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Pumping the market up. Good grief. Let's have a look at USDC, see what they're doing. Oh, they're actually going down. Down on the week. Up on the month, though. And all of it, look at that. So they've all these stable coins are just simply used to pump the market because they're pieces of garbage. Longs and shorts on BTC. Those longs are very, very misguided. Let's have a look at the top cryptos with most holders. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this figure. So we've got 58,464,462. Right, so remember that, 462. So if that goes up, if that's gone up by tomorrow, it means more and more wallets are being opened. All right. Look at this. So Bitcoin versus BTC. Looking very good over the last 11 days. Yeah, very strong. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. Even that's been good over the last 11 days. Nice. What is this? Look at the state of that. So Bitcoin versus USD on Orange Gateway. Look at that. Traders getting wrecked there. Look, that would have liquidated a few positions. Good grief. That is outrageous. Straight down, straight back. That is skullduggery. I don't know where they're getting the figures from, but that is outrageous. That is outrageous. That would have cleaned up a few. And look, they're almost like the same size. Look at that. It's happened twice in the space of 10 days. That's really not a good look. Not a good look at all. Bitcoin versus BTC. Let's have a look here. See, look, those price drops and that really only happen on USD. You know, you couldn't really have it against BTC. Good grief. Let's have a look at Livecoin Watch then. So we've got BTC at 64,000. What was the overall market cap? $2.3 trillion. Good grief. BTC's 24-hour trade volume 2.2%. Let's have a look at genuine Bitcoin. Where are we? Number 78 now. All right, let's have a look at volume, liquidity. And look, this makes no sense whatsoever. So when you've got 1.03 million bids versus 4.9 million asks, the price should be absolutely tanking when it's not. So it makes me think these figures are absolute BS. Look. I mean, they might have the chart here saying, oh, there's more red coming, you know, but the price doesn't show it at all. These figures are absolute BS, utter BS. Calling it now. And leaderboard. Here we go. We've got hidden best bet $93. Return on investments 81%. Another one 81.95. Very good. 80%. Check it out. Loving that. There we go. Right, we'll leave it there. I've made this is actually my second attempt at this show. I'm going to have to stitch it together now because I effed up earlier. But if you appreciate these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to Satoshi at Sembi, Satoshi at Handcash, Satoshi at Simply Cash, Satoshi at Relasia, Satoshi at Water Wallet, Satoshi at Senti.ch. Hope you enjoyed it as ever. Be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.